talk about fitness. Not this kind of fitness, but evolutionary fitness. Evolutionary fitness can be generally defined as an organism's capacity to survive and reproduce in a given environment. But let's break this definition down a little further. So first, fitness starts in the genes. It's the fitness of the genotypes and phenotypes that determine the survival of a species, or rather the survival of certain genes within that species. So when we talk about survival, it's not necessarily the fastest or the strongest that survive, but those with the best advantage in that environment. Examples include traits like camouflage to hide from predators, acute night vision for hunting prey, or even sleeping with one eye open to stay alert, like our friend the dolphin. Right, but this is only half the story. The ability to reproduce and pass on those genes is just as important as survival. Right, this is where sexual selection comes in.
Help them to survive in a particular environment. We are going to look at the camel, the giraffe, and the penguin to see the features of their bodies that help them live in their specific habitat. First, we will look at the camel. This mammal resides in the hot desert where sand blows everywhere. Luckily, they have double rows of extra long eyelashes and thick eyebrows to help keep sand out of their eyes. They also have the ability to close their nostrils to keep the sand out. It is a misconception that camels' humps are full of water. The humps actually store fat that can be metabolized as a source of energy. The tan color of a camel's coat allows them to blend into their environment. The giraffe makes its home in the savanna, which is a grassland scattered with trees. Its neck is around 6 feet long, which is perfect for eating leaves from the tall treetops. A giraffe's tongue is long and tough, which protects it against thorns when feeding. The spotted coat of a giraffe is for camouflage. This giraffe could be easily mistaken for a tree.
In 19th century America, people flocked to dime museums to view the odd, the eerie, and the unexplained.
We are a recreation of a 19th century American dime museum. And dime museums, when they sprang up in this country, were full of anything the American public would pay 10 cents to see.
People have always been interested in the weird, the strange, the bizarre, the exotic, and the unusual.
For just 10 cents, they came to see the worst that nature had on offer. Some creatures were patently fake, products of an entrepreneur's imagination. But others brought us face to face with real mutations.
What if I told you there were trillions of tiny bacteria all around you? It's true. Microorganisms called bacteria were some of the first life forms to appear on Earth. Though they consist of only a single cell, their total biomass is greater than that of all plants and animals combined. And they live virtually everywhere. On the ground, in the water, on your kitchen table, on your skin, even inside you. Don't reach for the panic button just yet. Although you have 10 times more bacterial cells inside you than your body has human cells, many of these bacteria are harmless or even beneficial, helping digestion and immunity. But there are a few bad apples that can cause harmful infections, from minor inconveniences to deadly epidemics. Fortunately, there are amazing medicines designed to fight bacterial infections. Synthesized from chemicals or occurring naturally in things like mold, these antibiotics kill or neutralize bacteria by interrupting cell wall synthesis or interfering with vital processes like protein synthesis, all while leaving human cells unharmed.
When Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is broken, evolution in the population will occur. When the pressures are from the environment, it's called natural selection. It's the gradual process by which heritable traits become either more or less common in a population because of pressure from the environment. But what are these pressures? Examples of pressures include overpopulation, which leads to resource competition, changing environments, and predators. Truly anything that will break Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium will cause natural selection to occur. And when it does occur, there are 3 types of natural selection. directional, stabilizing, and disruptive. In directional selection, individuals that display a more extreme form of a trait have a greater fitness than individuals with average form of the trait. For example, the peppered moth population of England during the Industrial Revolution had higher frequencies of darker colors because it was well camouflaged in the soot-covered trees. The lighter-colored moths would have been easily seen and eaten by birds, and if they're eaten, they can't reproduce. In stabilizing selection, individuals with the average form of the trait have the highest fitness. For example, in robin's eggs, a clutch of 4 eggs is best. Because too few, and there might not be any that survive, too many, and they may be too hard to feed and sustain, so 4 is the best balance. In disruptive selection, individuals with either extreme variation of a trait have greater fitness than individuals with the average form of the trait. For example, Chinook salmon males compete with each other to fertilize the female eggs. Large fish have an advantage because they're strong fighters. Smaller fish also have an advantage because they can sneak in while the large fish are fighting and fertilize the eggs without being seen. Now, medium fish aren't big enough to fight and win, and they're too big to sneak in without getting caught. So it pays to be extreme in this case.